Okay, so I told Stella, I gotta do my work, and she's like, peace out, I'm out. And so I decided to leave the door open so you could hear the wind. It's like the wind keeps picking up. And you can hear the wind chimes and stuff when the wind goes too. But anyways, I was like, I don't know, listen to the weather. Here, watch, it'll go completely still now. No, I can hear the wind chimes. What was I going to say? There was like a few different things. So let me call. Okay. So, for one thing on the weather, I went out to get the sun this morning coming up. It was so fucking bright coming in because they didn't have the atmospheric cover. And so it was shining through my window. I went down to get it. You can't even look. You can't even, when you're looking at your phone, you're so blinded, you can't even see. And so I was trying to get it to go up close so you could see if you could see two suns or whatever. And it was like a weird light spectrum. Like, it's really weird. I'll share it on here. There was another video too that I was going to share on here that was like, what was it? I don't know. And it kind of seems like there's just a lot of talking. I don't know what else going on. There's the big volcano in like Indonesia or something. Then in Dubai, all those storms and stuff. And then supposedly, you know, up in the one area, like the path of the eclipse, that has done tornadoes and stuff, I think. And let me think of yeah, it keeps seeming like there's something else. There's always something else I'm forgetting. And I saw this creator that was saying she's so excited because now TikTok has got a 60-minute feature. And I had seen someone else talking about it. And I don't know how big your account has to get the 60-minute one. But I don't even do 10-minute ones. Like, I try and keep videos down on there for sure less than a couple minutes. Nobody watches them. They only watch like the first few seconds. It's like, you're going to go and put your time and effort into 60-minute videos on TikTok, and they are just taking people's accounts just down, all of their work gone. That girl who is there's being such a big stink about, that gets more, that to me is like the biggest thing right now of what people are talking about. Because I never knew who she was. I didn't know anything about her. I don't follow the culture, the celebrity culture stuff, but she was one of the people who was exposing stuff in the celebrity culture. And so she was going and doing a lot of research, and then so apparently she would pull up, like, she had all the receipts. Like, everything she said, it was backed up by facts somewhere. And so anyways, she had, when the J-Lo stuff came out, and everybody was making fun of J-Lo, and it was all day long. I swear to God, I couldn't believe how many videos there was. There's still people out there keep doing, like, having their crazy hair, and then having be J-Lo's voice. Oh, I like to do my hair like this. Like, she's just a joke at this point. Now, I guess she's even got herself a tour going, and nobody's buying her tickets. She's having to cancel shows. So I don't know how many people, but if she's trying to sell a stadium, I don't know that she could sell out a school cafeteria. So she is, but she's really exposed herself on this now. Because so this girl, whatever it was, she jumped on board and was, you know, talking shit on J-Lo. And so then Jennifer, she went and got some lawyer to patent her name or something. So she made it a copyright, like her name is a copyright now or something, so that you can't use it. So you can't, like, people were hashtagging. She was going after all these people who were hashtagging her. And this girl, This girl had like, this is so crazy because she had like 700,000 followers or something. She had over 1 billion views. She had like 350 million likes. Like, this girl's account was big, and she had been going for like 4 years, and she had colon cancer. And so she was all about positivity and healing and stuff, apparently. And she was real pleasant. Everybody liked her. She was just really a nice personality. And and she wasn't on the verge of death or anything. And so she did the thing on Jennifer. And Jennifer's suing a bunch of people. Like, she's literally suing people for talking about her if they don't talk nice. And I mean, you talk about borderline personality disorder, like, geez, chick. I think she's got such severe personality disorders, besides the fact she's trying to hide stuff about herself. Like, she's trying to, I don't know, she's involved in some shit, just like the Kardashians. Like, there's so many of these people who are involved with some shady shit. It's like, it's gonna all be exposed. And so she went after this girl, just a regular girl on TikTok, just, having fun like with the rest of them, who was in all her views and stuff. Like, she was building this account, and the views were paying for her, like, her treatment, or for her to be home, like, while she was sick or something. It was her financial support while she's got cancer and stuff. And she puts hard work into it. Man, there's something just in the hall. So she puts hard work into it, and she did a lot of editing and all sorts of stuff. So Jennifer went in and got her account removed. And so the girl had been doing videos about, like, oh my gosh, she was sad. Like, I mean, when I lost my Twitter one, it was the first time I'd ever built up a lot. It was almost 6,000 when they took that one. And that was like, fuck, man, they can just fucking take your fucking thing. And then on my first TikTok, it had built up to 15,000. And then they took that one. I was like, oh, motherfuckers. You can't get too attached to this shit, man. And so she was doing videos, talking about how sad she was, and, it was devastating. And, I mean, what the fuck? This fucking rich ass chick is going after somebody who's in this position and trying to cut her off from her livelihood and stuff. And so that just created a ripple of outrage. Like, all these different people who do those kinds of accounts are all like fucking coming to arms. Like, they are pissed. They're just doing videos and talking about it, which exposes Jennifer even more and makes her look so, oh my gosh, her being is just like, ooh, going down, down, down. I think she was trying to build herself up, but she's up her own ass. It's like, chick, get out your ass. Because she's so far up her own ass that she just thinks that her shit doesn't stink, and she is just a fake and a phony, and she's rude. Like, the stories that people had, like, oh my gosh, she's like this weirdo kind of person who wants to know how many bubbles are in her drink, has to have exactly 2 ice cubes and shit. Like, it's psycho. And it's like, especially if you're gonna be that fucking OCD or temperamental or something, take care of your damn self. With this, you gotta have a fucking posse run around doing shit for you. It's like, take care of your damn self. Don't be sitting there like, oh, and I need this and I need that, and you go do this for me and you go do that for me. It's like, that energy is going. Whatever status these different people had raised themselves to think that they were above other people, they're gonna fall and they're gonna crash and burn, because we're all equal. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna start again. And so, but the thing is, there was nothing for that girl to die. There's all this suspicion where all these people are like, what the hell? I mean, she was perfectly fine. And now all of a sudden she's dead. And she's like, she was young. I think she's like 36 or something. And she looked really healthy. She didn't look sick. And so now, I guess it's out on Twitter, X, whatever, that she was doing a big story about Hawaii and Oprah. And so to me, it even was like, okay, could this be something where another one of these fake deaths to get a lot of attention? Because that's going to draw a lot of attention to certain people. And I don't know, it's just weird. The whole thing is weird, but she definitely got attention on her. And she got noticed to the point, Jennifer wanted her taken down. And so I don't know, but that's supposedly the story she was working on, is what her friends and family are saying. Supposedly that's the word on the street on X. So I don't know. I don't know that much about her except for the stuff I keep seeing. But what I see is that it gets a conversation rolling. And that is where I'm like, these are the people who are the martyrs too. Because them going down, it just goes like wildfire with the conversation. So it's got a lot of conversations going on that whole thing with her. And there was another thing about, let me think what it was. Has her and Jennifer, what was it? Was it something? Dang it. I don't know. But you know what else I just had seen? I might think of it in a second. But I had seen this girl, and she was talking about like all these addicts that she knows of that were all started by getting a surgery and then having to go get on OxyContin for after the surgery. The doctors prescribe it. Like they prescribed it to me. I'm not even picking it up. And because you have to go and get it in person and stuff. And I was like, I don't even want it in the house. I feel like that there is an internet of crime that is aware. They would tell us it was hacked into, but they have links to know where these drugs go. And in my house, they may not be like, oh, well, let's go knock her off and, take her 3 OxyContins. I don't know. But, if people are getting them in their things, it wouldn't surprise me if those houses are being robbed that have certain drugs in them. And so, and that information is stored in these facilities that these hackers get access to. But I think they're open doors for them. So anyways, I was like, I don't even want it in the house. And I don't even know if they're putting something extra to create more addicts right now. It's like, fuck that. Like, I have taken that stuff before after surgery and never had any problem. But now it's just like, man, when I heard her say that, and there was just a lot of stuff where I was like, I'm not even going to go pick it up. And so I heard that same girl doing a video today. She was talking about something she had noticed. She said that she's gone to so many funerals. Like, she must have a lot of friends. She's kind of younger. I'm sure if you're out in the bar scene, and she lives in Florida. And so if you're out in the bar scene and stuff, that, there's a lot of people doing drugs and stuff like that. And so she said that she has been going to so many funerals, all these people overdosing and stuff. And she said the thing that was so weird is like, they'll go to the funeral, the person who died, and then she will see people leave the funeral, go to their dealer that they just had this person knocked off, go to their dealer and go get some of their stuff. She's like, it is so weird. I was like, man, that is total cognitive dissonance. But she said it's like they think, oh, well, no, it won't happen to me. But then they keep on going. So, I don't know. I feel like it's definitely like cranked up or something. But there was another thing. I keep having these things that keep coming, like, but I've got to like pay better attention or something. It feels, I swear to God, everything is weird right now. It's so weird. But you know what? I had the best morning. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This was crazy. So, I said about the Ziply yesterday, and the guys were out here, they showed up, but it was just like, it was weird because it was like such a chaos. Like, I still am, I swear to God, I'm still suspicious of the guys pulling up at the end of the driveway. It still does not make sense to me why it would be guys like house flippers who bought the house. And then how in the hell, because I feel certain it's the same guys. And how in the hell then, because when I cut those branches down off the tree, so it was before, it was in summertime. And so now it's like March. So say it was September. And I drug them all over and I laid them out so they could dry over the winter. And I thought, oh, this would be cool because then the animals can go and like go down underneath and give them warm places down low. So I was like, I'm just going to leave all these big giant branches down. And so I had them out there. But when I was doing it, those guys had pulled up. And it was weird because they pulled up, just sat there in the street. Just sat there in the street while I'm out there working and watching me. And I was like, okay, this is creepy. So I went into the thing, and that's when they pulled up at the end of the driveway. And the one guy, same as it did the other day, got out of the car. He had a mustache and beard and brown hair and stood up, and he was the one who started trying to converse with me, and I wanted nothing to do with him. And so then they got in their car and left, and I'm positive it was a black SUV. I'd have to go find the video and go back when I was talking about before, but then but I'm thinking that had to be like in September. So even if it was like, I don't remember when it was they started threatening foreclosure on me. Like I've lost so much track of time and everything. I swear, the more you let go of this reality, the more it's hard to hold on to stuff. And but I keep thinking it has to be, because this is already the 4th month, so it has to be like that has to be like 8 months ago at the end of summer. It was way before it was getting really shitty outside. So it was way before winter, and the shit started getting shitty by Halloween, so by October. So it had to be August or September. So August or September, when I took those branches down, for that car to come and sit there. And so how could that be the same guys that it just so happens it's the same guys who got the house? Like, that does not add up to me, especially when I keep seeing these videos of like FBI going up to people's houses now. Like, I already had the Secret Service come here, right? But the FBI is different, because the Secret Service, I was thinking, and we don't know, is it like the Republic Secret Service or is it the corporation? Because that is one thing, is like everything's being weeded through. But you know, these agents are showing up at people's houses and harassing them, and you know, and they're watching us online, and I already know I've got a target on my back. And so I kept on thinking, okay, so how in the fuck could that guy pull up in September or August? So if that was that would have been like 8 months ago, and then go through the foreclosure thing, then it goes to auction, then it's supposedly sold the first minute in auction, which there's a whole thing going on that I'll share it in the link too, is it's some paperwork, and they're hoping like 2 million people fill it out, but they want 2 million arrests this day or something, and it's against your city council. So you're supposed to, you know, do a thing against your city council thing. I'm going against Whatcom over going against human rights. You can't sell somebody's house. It's not your fucking house. You can't sell it to somebody else. And so I have the right to, this is my property. I've done the work. I take care of it. I tend it. And for them to come in and try and use their bureaucracy, my tongue, like everything, I feel like my tongue is stuck, like it's weird. My bureaucracy, you know what I'm saying? So the bureaucrats, they want to, you know, come in and take our land. They don't want us to have anything. And gotta keep watching the cars that go by. That was a weird looking one too, but it wasn't the black SUV. But so on the city council thing, so there's some kind of paperwork, and you have to have it witnessed by 2 people. The guy who was talking about it said, do 3 of them. Each of you guys get 3 people together, and each of you do the witness on each person's. And it's the 24th, so it's next week on Wednesday, day after my surgery. And they want to go and, like, I don't know if they're going to storm all these different city councils and do arrests. I don't know what's going to happen, because like it's some kind of big event that's supposed to go down or something. But I had said, you know, there's a lot that is going to be going on. Just because they are trying to say that they're going to take the house doesn't mean that they have any rights. Even somebody who, if somebody really did get it, which I don't know, I still think that there's a lot of red tape. But, you know, I don't know. But even if somebody did get it, they're going against my human rights. They're, you know, they're part of, under the corporation. The corporation, those people who go with those rules and try and take away human rights, they're going down. And so Whatcom County is doing some shady shit. Man, there's other counties too, like that where I got the ticket. What was that? Kittitas, I think. You know, I could fucking sign them on all these different ones, all these different judges and shit. They're all shady as fuck. They're just looking for us all to make complaints because they're gonna all go do a big old sweep. And this could be something that's just gonna be being talked about, and they don't really need us to do it, but it's our way to get involved and be a part of the takedown of these fucking criminals. And so, anyways, back to these guys at the end of the driveway, real quick. So, it just doesn't make sense to me how it could be, because I had all these different people that were coming by my house and stuff like that, and a lot of people, I think, when they're looking to go buy a house on auction and they go and drive by the house and they see people living there, they're like, oh fuck, man, that would be like, we'd have to go evict them. Like, it would be a hassle. And then anybody who's gonna get evicted, you may as well figure they're gonna probably tear your shit up. So, man, there are some people who are going into some disasters, like Airbnb disasters, where they've let people, because a lot of people go homeless, so they start Airbnb-ing it, and they're going in and destroying some of these people's houses. It's so fucking sad. But this is like the blowing up of, like, because of how we've created this functioning, how we make money off of each other and stuff. Like, it all has to fall apart, because it's no good. It's no good for anybody. And a lot of stuff has to change. But they need to change all this where we're all chasing this dollar bill, because it's like you can't ever get it. It's a fucking facade. It's not real. And so, here goes the bus. And so it's an express bus. It's not just a regular city bus. It just zoops out here and then goes back into town to take everybody. But it's 37 stops. It's still long, and I guess apparently it's the pedos drive. The pedos roll on the bus, so you gotta watch out. And I do know of a girl who rode on it, and she was started being stalked by a guy who found her on the bus, and she was getting the creeps because he kept showing up. And this lady, this wasn't like some little tiny lady. This lady is like 6 foot or 6'1". Like, this woman is. You know, she definitely looks like, you know, she could hurt you. She didn't look like a big bulky woman or something, but I mean, a woman who's like in the Game of Thrones, like that one Viking chick, you know, like she's just a bigger person. And you would think a stalker, a crazy psychopath, would be trying to go after people that were easier to handle. This guy was bold, man. But it ends up that he was awaiting his conviction. I mean, I don't think he had his conviction yet. I think he was waiting his trial. But he had kidnapped a guy, he kidnapped a man, taken him out here in the woods, and beaten him and tortured him and left him for dead. And the guy lived, got himself back off the mountain, got down, and this guy got charged. But that's the guy she met on the bus who started stalking her. She had told me a long time ago, stay off the bus. And in the neighbor, I said, well, I think I'll take the bus down and get a rental car. And she's like, stay off the bus. Everybody's like, get off the bus. So anyways, this bus is like, but, you know, I mean, if you're riding the bus in any city, oh my gosh, she's so dramatic. But anyways, when you think about that, like, what the fuck? How could that be? And the same guys pull up like that fucking 8 months later. I think it's weird. God, you're so dramatic. I told you I was busy. Come on, hurry up, please. I said I was working. Go, go. She just has to make sure that she knows she's important, which she is. Okay, so she's so bossy. Okay, so anyways, I thought that was weird. So I'm not even convinced that those guys are the house guys. Those guys could be fucking men in black. Fuck, I don't know what the fuck. They could be people just trying to intimidate me. And then the one guy had pulled up at the end of my driveway in a black truck and just stared at me when I was standing there. And that's what these guys did. They just stand there. And when I went back in the house, got back in the car, and they sat there like they're talking or something, and they drove off. But if you are going after my house, and it's been 8 motherfucking months, and you have not even written me a letter, you haven't said shit to me, like that again, that doesn't make any sense to me. And don't forget, it was March 1st was the day that my house was supposedly gone. So now what is this? This is mid-April. And nobody's contacted me by mail. Nobody has said shit to me. And because that's what they normally do, is they she's doing my fire stuff. They will they'll send you a letter. That happened when the other house, when I got divorced. And that one wasn't in my name and stuff. So, and then my lawyer advised me against putting it in my name. So I got evicted out of it when the divorce went through, and all that stuff. And so, but that all was by letter, because he lost his house. And so that was all by letter. And they offered me a bunch of money if I made sure and took all my stuff, because they know if they do that stuff, they'll tear shit up. So usually I think that they try and be reasonable, not try and like bully you and stuff, because people tear shit up, just like my neighbor. As soon as yesterday, she was like, it was message after message, gotta sell this, sell it all before they come back. And I was like, but I don't know for sure if that really is. I gotta watch how shit plays out. But see, you try and tell somebody that in 3D, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, yeah, but I don't know that these are house people and that I have anything to worry about. Like, yeah, it's stressful as fuck. But one thing that is super important is you gotta remember, like, you're just like floating through it. There's nothing I need to do. And this is where you have to build so much trust. Like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's going to be the best thing for me. So it's nothing I need to worry about, but it's stressful as fuck. Like, that's why I talk about it, because I know that it's stressful. And then when the stress starts eating at people, that they surrender to it. And so I'm trying to explain how you have to keep pulling yourself into, like, through affirmations, breathing, just logic. Some of it's just logic, just sitting back and, putting it together like, okay, wait a minute. Now, if they were here 8 months ago and they did the same fucking shady shit, trying to intimidate me, sitting out there staring at me, and then pull up, same fucking angle into my driveway, then get out of the car and stare at me, then, I don't know. I'm just, just gotta wait and see what goes on. And I bet yesterday was intense, no doubt about it, and the energy was intense. And so, and the Ziply guys came, and they were doing the wires. It was so crazy too, because they put these new wires in, and then they just dropped down and left the rest of the wire hanging there. And as soon as Stella got out there, she went straight over there and started alerting me to something out of place. Man, she is sharp. Like, she pays attention to every little thing. I heard that about Mastiffs. They're like some sort of computer. And she goes out and logs in smells. I'm telling you. She goes out and she'll sit and smell something. It's like, she's not like a walker. Like, we don't go for these nice, like, walks. No. We meander and she sniffs around. And So, and she wants to do the same thing in everybody's yard. Like, she thinks this is her pride. And she wants to go out and she pays attention once everybody's house. And she wants to alert me to everything that's out of place. Something happens and someone's out in their driveway. You know, she's noticed. And anyways, but she's smart as can be. So I just had to throw that in there. And, but, you know, smart is demanding too. And she knows how to fucking open and shut the door. So, I was just checking to see if because sometimes she'll go over there and start bashing the bells so hard that she flings them off. She's broken so many of the bells. Like, her tail can give you a black eye. Okay, so anyways, so then the Ziply guy was coming this morning to put it, you know, wired into my house. And so he called this morning and said he was going to be here at 9:30. And so then he said it was going to take a couple hours. So I was like, fuck, I got to take Stella. I'll go put her at the neighbors in their yard. And so I took her over there, which, you know, she only likes it if I'm standing there. And, you know, anyways, that's the whole thing. But so then got over here and stuff. And the guy was working, and by the time he came into the house, I don't know if we chatted very much until he came into the house. I had talked to him, but I don't know. Once he came in the house, oh my gosh, poor guy. He wasn't getting any work done. We're talking and talking and talking. It was the best thing in the whole fucking world to have somebody who is awake and aware come into the house today and talk. It was like, oh my God. I just couldn't even stop. And get this, he lives right there. He lives in the new development, just like right there. So I was like, okay, now I've made a friend too. And he was so excited to get to talk to somebody who was aware and stuff. And we were even saying now our energy is connected. So now it'll start blanketing in on these other people and rippling out, because now there's a connection. It's weird how our energy, like my energy can just be here, and then you know, it gradiates out or whatever, like your energy goes out from you. But once it has a place to connect, it's like a bridge. So it's like this information, it's weird because I can see how we develop a grid. And what is really cool is as more and more of us awaken and connect, it makes the grid more so. Whether grid was like barely anything, like, you know, like some strings or something, it's becoming more like I keep thinking like interstates or something, but I know we don't have that many people awake yet. But it strengthens the information when there's connections. And it's so trippy too, because just think about like when you're talking to somebody who you've never met and you guys all have the same kind of information. And I'm not just talking about like, oh yeah, well, we all saw the same Illuminati documentary. No, I'm talking about like about internal, about your soul, about connecting and energy and all that stuff, which man, this goddamn throat clearing thing, I don't even remember when that started, but it's driving me fuck crazy. But the oh, my whole fucking thing is covered with pollen. Everything else I just pollinated. But you know, I had this. It's been going for a few weeks. But let me think. So, but we got to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, like we're going to talk about giants. Oh, he's like a total outdoors person. Oh, and get this too. Yeah, the guy's like, I don't know, 35 years old or something. It's like we are generations apart. But here we can meet in the middle and talk about things like spiritual and connection and health and all that stuff. And, you know, it's the same for all of us. That's why people have got to get off of this, like, you know, well, that's a millennial. I don't have time for a millennial. They don't know shit. He knew a lot of stuff. And he was smart, and he was well-rounded kind of a sports person. So he had a lot of going out and climbing out mountains and stuff. Like he likes to go out remote by himself, which is like, oh, like, fuck. It's ballsy to me. But I'm scared shitless of that stuff. But anyways, he's into that. And he said that there was one time he feels like if you're vibing high that you won't get messed with. I don't know. I was thinking, yeah, it makes sense. But then I was thinking, fuck, when you watch the Missing 411, there's some people who seem like they're vibing high and they go missing. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it's hard to say. It could be your vibration. Like if you're a certain vibration, then like you're not going to pull in like certain monsters or something. But I don't know. But you know, I'm freaky about the woods, and but he goes out and he said he did have a scary experience one time, and he went out into a remote place over like on the Olympic Peninsula or something. So I think it was out like on the San Juan Islands. I wasn't even sure of some of the places, but he travels all over the place and goes out and does this, and he said it was lots of tall, skinny trees. And but they were so close together, it was like you couldn't really see in between them. But then once it started going dark, he said that there started being the most horrible sound, like a witch screaming in the woods. And he said it kept doing it and doing it. It was right close to his thing, and it was getting closer and closer, and it was doing this hideous cackle or something. And then he could hear it walking and crunching, and then it would stop and do this, which I have heard before. The mountain lion makes a really horrible cry, but I think it's like a lady screaming or a baby crying. There's some kind of a weird thing about that, where a lot of people, when you hear scary stuff, then they're, oh, that's a mountain lion or something. But he said he had never heard anything like this, and he said it was really freaking him out because he would hear it get closer, and then and he could hear it walking, and you couldn't see. And I was thinking about those creatures, all the different creatures, they, you know, multi-dimensional creatures. They love that kind of illusion because it is real easy. That's when they can hide in the depth of the illusion. And so you know, like where I've said, like when you have stuff hanging like that, they can like that, like the jackets hanging, that they can just stand right there and blend in like a chameleon. So they love that kind of stuff. They love having anything that they can blend into. And so yeah, out in the woods, and there's certain places like, ooh, creepy. I had another thing that was coming into my head about that, about something. Hold on, man, they feel like they're scattered. But anyways, that totally made my morning. Like getting to talk to somebody face to face, like a real person, and talk about real things, not just bullshit. And you know, people will try and talk to you about things like to the 3D world, like it's real, like you're losing your house. Like even this morning when I said I was going to take my dog over there, she was like, what are you getting installed? It's like, we have my cable and I'm changing companies. And I'm sure to people like that, they're like, that seems so weird. You're going to get kicked out any second. And to me, it's like, until they come and do that and bring it, and then I still got to see what they bring. Like if it's a letter, I mean, I got to see what happens next. You know, I still don't feel like, oh, well, you better hurry up and pack. You better, no, I definitely don't feel like I should start selling stuff right now, because then it's like, where would I put the stuff that's in the stuff? Like I would still need my washer and dryer. I would still need my fridge. I would still need my stove and my storage unit and stuff. So to me, it's like, I feel like they're going down. And I feel like it's close, especially when I heard this guy saying that they're wanting to do this like 2 million arrest or something on the 24th. I was like, fuck, man. And I don't know, because I don't follow all of the, you know, there's so much stuff now. When I see it, I just go past it, because it's like, okay, this is just these people just talking about stuff they haven't woke up yet. They're just still talking about it. And so I don't, I already know this stuff. So what am I going to go sit and listen to them talk about it? It's like, it's their conversation. But so I don't go and listen to all the different ones. I'll hear, some things like his video. I hadn't even seen that guy in a really long time. But anyways, I've whatever whatever's going, I mean, the government's going down, like, and there is being all these arrests. Oh, and somebody just told me a super, super sad story. And it was because there's all these arrests, like they're arresting all these, like there's judges, city council, all these people who had control over things, and they're all connected. Remember, they're all rubbing each other's fucking, they're all fucking sleaze. And this and there's like arrest after arrest going on, because I see people sharing their local news. And this guy got arrested, but it was sad because their family had a connection with the story, and this guy got arrested, and he has been perving on a whole bunch of kids. And her sister had gotten pregnant when she was young and on drugs, and given the baby up for adoption. And by all appearances, it was this, great family, the church-going families. And then this comes out on the news, and this guy's arrested and totally pervin. And the little girl that had got the baby that got adopted also had a disability. It's like, oh my God, that poor kid. That is what this fucking bullshit with the system, though, has done. That's why all these judges and shit are corrupt, is because that is what they are doing. They're fucking taking kids from people and giving them to pervs. It's like the sickest fucking world, man. Man, I can't wait until they all go down. I fucking hope Wednesday they go arrest 2 million people. Like, fuck yeah. Maybe not that they're going to arrest 2 million. Maybe it's they want 2 million to fill it out and they're going to arrest 150. I don't remember. I'll share his video, though, and I'll share the link to the paperwork and stuff that he had got, because I've got that thing too. So, but that's still another action going this week towards taking down the bad guys. And there was some other stuff. I feel like for sure that there was some other stuff that I was going to say about. I still feel so scattered, or I don't know what it is. I feel weird. Like, I know that bothers some people when I just say weird, but I don't know how to explain it. It just is weird. It's like it's not something that I know how to explain. I feel like disconnected. I feel like I'm kind of a ghost. I don't feel like it's like when you're not of the 3D, it's I don't know. It's the 3D is a boundary, and it gives you a parameter of existence, like, and then the more you let go of it and detach from it, the more it's just like, I don't know, kind of like you're a balloon on a string, just blowing around out there, just like, oh, what's happening? Like, where's the wind gonna take me today? And then you gotta trust that the wind is taking you right where you need to go. And that is the part that is the challenge, because we want to step in and try and control it. Like, oh, well, I'll just pack up and I'll be ready. I'll be in front of this thing. That's the kind of shit I used to do. Not now. Especially knowing that they're going down for their corruption. But see, to people in the 3D, I seem like a crazy psychopath. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I think that other people could be at the end of my driveway, coming up and trying to harass me and stuff? And it's like, well, there's a lot of reasons, but it doesn't make sense in this world. And so it's not everybody that understands, but I know you guys do. And I don't know. I feel like that there would be something else to the eviction than just some guys pulling at the end of my driveway and just staring at me. Like at least, and that car's going fast. At least, like, why wouldn't you just leave something in my Dropbox? like a letter or something, like, hey, we keep trying to come by and talk to you. We bought your house or something, like something, but just stare at you and then, do nothing. And, what was the other thing too? Because, staring at you, doing nothing. But I just feel like that they've got a lot of bureaucracy. They're trying to take way too many houses at one time. They're flooded with all of the, they're trying to foreclose on everybody and they're flooded. And this girl I just saw was out doing a walk and she was showing this giant ass building, like fucking huge, like a prison. And she was saying how disgusting it is because it's their new homeless shelter that they're building for women and children. It sounded like she was East Coast. But so they're building this giant ass fucking building for housing the homeless women and children. And she's like, I used to would have thought, oh, this is cool. We should be giving people shouldn't have to be on the streets. But she said, now I look at it as like, this is disgusting. They are putting all this money in this fucking giant ass prison building instead of giving people affordable housing. Like, we shouldn't have to live in their fucking facilities. We should be able to live free. It's our birthright. Like, we're born here to live free. And then as you awaken, that becomes so much more crystal clear to you. Like, your rights as a human being, as a soul, birthed into a place, and that they don't have this control that they're trying to always wave their dicks in our face like they do. I mean, they don't have it. The reason that it works is because we all just take a knee and it's like, well, they said, well, and people they use the people to kind of police each other. I think that there is a lot of people who would rather see the bank win, just like when I went to court against the hospital for my brain injury. The fucking jury, they'd rather see the hospital win than to see somebody get ahead, even when they have fucking done this to them. That I think that people are just so, it's like when the people aren't awake, their dedication is to the banks, the corporations, the government and stuff. But, that's who runs the world. And if you guys aren't willing to take a knee, then you got a problem. No wonder you got yourself in trouble. You got to pay your house just like all of us. It's like, yeah, but that's illegal. They can't be doing that. All these things are illegal. Well, that's the way it's done. It's like, well, it's not going to keep being done that way. And then until some of us stand up and say, no, this is some fucking bullshit, they're going to keep doing it. And it's so crazy is that for the people who stand up, like, and we say, no more, then the people who all are like, think we're so crazy, they're going to fucking appreciate it by the time it fucking flips around. If we all would have just stayed passive, if we all would have just sat back, we'd never fucking move. We just get stomped out. Because these people don't give a fuck about us. And these people who just keep taking a knee to them, it's like, you got to stand up to them. You got to be willing to lose. You got to be willing, like, what is your stuff? What value does it have if you don't have integrity? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, anyways, but I was thinking, I really do think that a lot of people, their attitude is like, more towards the bank. They're, in alignment with that. But they just don't realize, like, but I think that is what is keeping part of the system up still, is like all these people are so dedicated to the system and what it has to offer. And then, kind of frustrated with all of us who keep going against it and saying, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But the reason why is because they're disconnected from their soul. They're just caught up in the game. They're caught up in the 3D, game that's playing out. They're not thinking it in a more depth or even in any kind of connection to themselves as a soul. Because then it changes the game. You're not going to take a knee. It's like, you're especially like when you realize like you're a god. You're a god. Why would you go and take a knee to somebody? This is about an opportunity for us to learn our own powers and stuff. Oh yeah, it was the copper thing. It was a video. I'm going to try and find this one too and share it because I thought it was really good. And it was talking about copper and how important it is, and that we're made up of copper, and how important it is for us to keep these minerals, the minerals that we're made of, to keep those minerals in us. That is what I keep talking about. This is them taking it, and then our bodies need it, so it starts depleting it and pulling from your hair and stuff. I just saw a girl, and she was 26 years old, and she was doing a video showing the red light. She's like at the doctor's office, and she said, they always put this red light on me. And she said, and it's the red light that we all have. And so they're using red light therapy on her. And she has stage 4, 26 motherfucking years old, stage fucking 4 osteoporosis. That is, and her hair didn't have any, it didn't, I mean, I don't know her natural color from when she was like a teenager or whatever, but it definitely wasn't white. She didn't have her hair, it wasn't white or anything. But whatever mineral she is not having, it's taking it all from her bone. Her bones are being depleted. That, and you know, our bones aren't even real, like none of it's real, but is still something significant that you need. That is where it's like they suck the life out of us till there's nothing left. And it is the minerals and stuff that you need. And that is the thing, is like we're made of minerals and water, and that is why they taint our water and they take all the minerals out, so it drains us of all we are. But then the people have no awareness because they're so disconnected from themselves. They don't have mind, body, spirit. So many people don't pay any attention to their body, and even when their body is telling them something, they ignore it. And I was even thinking about this. I think that there is so many people who, like, they eat a certain amount, even if it makes them overweight, they still think that that is better to eat all that stuff rather than to listen to their body and be like, oh wait, my body is showing me it doesn't need all this, and so I've got to, you know, go at this in a different way. I need to change something about how I eat, when I eat, how much I eat, whatever it is, the kinds of things I eat. Whatever it is, your body's telling you something. But I think that they just accept it. They're just like, well, this is just, you know, the way my body is. You know, I'm just a fat person. I'm just, you know, and it's like, no, you're letting that happen to yourself because you're not listening to your body. You're not taking care of yourself. Like, I can't imagine somebody being obese and not being uncomfortable. When you're being uncomfortable, and I'm talking about uncomfortable, like, and trying to walk and all of that, breathe, any of that stuff, that anything that is showing discomfort is where your body is speaking to you. It's saying, hey, this is a little much for me. And, you know, you're getting up and you're trying to go, and your heart's pounding and pounding, your knees are crackling, and you're having all these problems. Your body's telling you something. And so many people don't listen. It's so programmed. They don't stop and think of, like, the A, you know, like the A plus B plus C, like the steps. It's like a disconnect or something. Like, it is what you put in your mouth is like you're overdoing it if you have too much. There's no reason that any of us should be fat. There is like nothing that is just like, okay, well, there's just fat people. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's got to be skinny. There's all different sizes. I'm talking about really obese people. I'm talking about really big people. And I mean, there's different variances of how much weight somebody carries. So, you know, there can be somebody who is, somebody could think like, oh, they're a little chunky or something. That could be their complete great size for them. You know, that doesn't matter. It matters about how you feel, about what your body's showing you and telling you. And, but the people who are, like, disconnected from their own, communication with their body, isn't picking up on what their body's trying to say. And that's why there's so much with sickness. That's why so much of this is all a part of the awakening too. It has so much to do with our health and how we take care of ourselves, how we treat ourselves, and how we eat and stuff, especially when you got to think about, like, you've got to be getting these minerals in. And those minerals don't come in like a fucking blizzard or any of that stuff. Like, that is stuff that is just empty calories. So when you're just eating stuff that isn't good for you and you're gaining a bunch of weight, see, that's a choice. It isn't just like, well, I'm just a fat person. I'm just big. I'm just a big person. Yeah, there's big people and there's small people. We come in all different shapes and sizes. But when you start putting, you can be a big person and you're still putting too much in there, and you're way bigger than you need to be. And so it is, everybody has like an optimum, and I think it is important to find, where is your optimum? Where are you running your best? Where do you feel good? You have energy. And I swear to God, they have told all the people to eat about 3 times the amount that you need to eat. And that is another thing where people are going to have to break free from that concept of feeling like, well, I got to eat. It's breakfast. Well, I got to eat. It's going to, like, so many people are so programmed. It's time to eat. It's time to eat. Well, you hungry? It was time to eat. And then I think even at some points we start becoming hungry around those times. Like, we're just programmed. Like, it's time to eat, then we've got to be willing to eat. I think sometimes it's best to just really think like, well, am I hungry? Do I need to eat? Like, I just feel like that before we got to this, hyper consumerism kind of world, that people's lives did not revolve around this 3 meals a day and stuff. Like, there was a lot more gratitude towards food too. It wasn't just like a surplus, go down to the corporation, which I am seeing videos on bananas. They're like, fuck, they've got fake fucking food. And people getting food, like, Walmart has got serious problems. And I'm still seeing fucking one after another, the disasters of people still going to the fast food places, still complaining. $81 at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and she had to throw it all away. It was so disgusting. Nobody could eat it. $81. And they'll probably turn around and then go down to another place and try it again. Like, it has become part of our, like, like, oh, that's a fun thing to go out to eat. That's what is that called? Like a luxury, really. It used to be a luxury. Now it's kind of become just like, there's some people who just live off of fast food. That's just all they eat. I was like, fuck. I was even talking to that guy this morning. I was like, man, there is going to be some people, when this shit goes down, when the pole shift occurs and everything shifts, and the people realize what they've been eating, they are not going to be able to get that horrible feeling out of them. Of like, man, I just know there's going to be people in trying to puke, and you just can't get that out. It's like the same as shame and guilt. There's certain things that it's like, I don't know, you just got to process. Whatever it is, you got to process. And this is going to get rough because so many of these people have no idea. They don't know how to heal. They have no idea how to take control of their lives. They've been created to be victims, and they're going to be very lost. And so there's going to be mass suicide too, because there's going to be so many people lost. It's going to be sad. And just do whatever you can to just be supportive to people as they wake up. Don't bash them. Like, so many people think that's the appropriate time to start bashing people. It's not. You've got to be supportive and help people. You got to realize what's going on, that, we've been here and mind controlled. And so as the people wake up, it's going to be a lot of stuff they're going to have to face, a lot of dark stuff, and the stuff they've been eating. Like, a lot of us, we got to stop eating some of this stuff. Like, we ought to stop eating it. A lot of us, we were motivated but internally to go vegan or vegetarian or whatever, to stay away from meat. But it's part of whatever these people have to go through to process that, what they ate and what they consumed. And it's going to have a lot of things that's going to go with, because this is all like deep soul stuff from other lives and stuff. So there's going to be a lot to the process. But the hard thing is when you get into that, facing your ego, into facing your shadow self, it's just so difficult. And people just can't do it very well. And it's going to be such a mass amount of people and feeding off of that energy of chaos. And there's just going to be a lot of people who just won't be able to handle it. It's a lot. It's a lot to face yourself and to go through and accept yourself. And that's where everybody's got to get to, this acceptance, so that you are okay with yourself. What was that? I saw another sad story over another girl who, she was some kind of disabled. When you looked at her, she definitely looked different. And, and she was going to be cooking. And that bothers some people who go up to buy food and they're buying it from somebody who's got some sort of visual disability. Then, yeah, a lot of people will say, I don't want that, or won't go there to eat. And so this girl, she went to go get the job, and the boss wasn't there, and two other people were doing the interview, and so they hired her. And then she showed up for training, and the boss was there, and the boss saw her and said, oh no, you're not going to work out. No, this job's not for you. And the girl kept trying to be like, yeah, but I can do it, and the woman kept saying, no, you can't, no, you can't. And the girl kept saying, well, can I see the area and stuff? And the woman wouldn't let her. She was like, no. So it's totally discrimination, which is sad, but it really is true. I mean, that woman is right, that people are shallow like that, that they would look at somebody who's disabled and not want to eat their food. And so if you're trying to sell food and somebody who's disabled is making it, but that is a part of our society where we have to start valuing people for their skills and abilities and quit getting caught up in what they don't have going on. Like there's so many videos, again, about the skin color. Like a darker woman talking about her being attacked by darker guys. Like, not, I'm talking about she has like a deeper skin tone, not like that, but it was still lighter, but like that dark and shiny. And these guys were more brown tones, but still considered the same. And they were being mean to her. Like she doesn't have the same value. And I've heard about this before. There's a lot of Black people who will be really mean to the darker people. Like if you are a light-skinned person, then a light-skinned Black person, like the way they label us and stuff is so annoying. But that like if you are born into a family and you have light skin and everybody else in your family has darker skin, then people look at it, you got lucky. Like you can, and some people, like there's white passing and stuff, like that's a thing. And so it's kind of like they're racist towards their own people over the color of their skin, but the racism would come from, actual ways that people treat them. Like it's not just made up in their heads, but they hold on to these things and they perpetuate it. That's why we got to let go of so much of this stuff. And we have to raise our awareness of the things that we do and how we treat each other. Because this is, it's not okay. Like your skin doesn't matter. What your size is. Yeah, if you are, obese or whatever, it doesn't matter. Except for to you and your health. Like if you're trying to sustain health, then there is a way to do that. But your actual size and all this stuff, everything that is superficial doesn't matter. That doesn't state on somebody's character. The color of the skin, what does that have to do with their character? And so, but we get caught up in these total superficial shit. The size of somebody, the color of somebody, the age of somebody, the sex, all the things. And it's all based on biases that people use. You know, oh, well, they're not as good as me because, you know, they haven't seen a dentist. They're not as good as me because they weigh more than me. They're not as good as me because they're taller than me. They're not as good as me because they're shorter than me. They're not as good as me because they're fatter than me. Like those things that we have to catch that in ourselves and be like, oh, God, that's not real. That's not right. And then you don't even know how much the dark energy is trying to feed that thought in your head. So those are the thoughts you have to catch, and you have to see for yourself and catch yourself, so you have awareness like, oh, that's not cool. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what somebody looks like or their skin or whatever. um you know, we should get it to the point where, you know, we can go eat food from somebody who's disabled, can cook food just as good. If they know how to cook food, then, you know, try their food and like test the food out before you say like you can't do the job. I don't even know why that just did that. That was kind of weird, because the door, it usually does that when the door opens or a window. Maybe they're just coming through the windows now. They're not gonna. There was, I swear to God, there was something standing there. I don't know. That was weird. And the thing on the TV, of course, is weird at the same time. Okay, so let me think. So it's up to us to make these changes. It's up to us to catch ourselves. Like, it's not catch other people. Like, we can't fix other people. We can only fix ourselves. So it only makes a difference what you catch yourself doing, so that you can be aware and stop yourself. And don't be mad at yourself if you catch yourself doing it and you catch yourself doing it again. Just work on fixing it. Not being mean to yourself, not being harder on yourself, not being just switch your judgment like, okay, well, then I'm not going to judge them. Now I'm just going to judge myself. No, we've got to get this world into a place where it's not about judgment. It's about relaxing and growing and learning from each other, being open. And, you know, it's like being in a state of wonderment, really, you know? It's like getting back to that place in a state of wonderment and joy and like excitement. Like, what adventures can I find today? Like, think about, you know, when you're a kid, you wake up and it's summertime and you're just so excited to get out and see what your friends are doing. You know, get out on your bike and see what's going on. And, you know, we got to get back to that place. And they have kind of stifled that in people. You know, they've just got people out trying to survive, get to their job. And, you know, once this shift goes, but there's a lot of loss in this shift. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of loss of jobs, lots of loss of the houses, lots of loss goes with this shift. So anything that you're losing, remember, just keep remembering, like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And that is something that I've got to tell myself all the time. I mean, this is like a mantra or a thing that I use, is to keep reminding yourself that whatever in the 3D, just like, this is something like I feel like is going on really strong right now, is because for those of us who know, like, things are about to shift and it's going to go really good and we're going to have like good things, like the shift will bring a lot of blessings. And then but I feel like the dark energy is like attack, and want to beat you down, like nothing good will ever happen. You don't deserve anything good. Nothing good ever happens. Like that kind of energy that just wants to keep you beat down. And so, and then remember, I had talked about when you are trying to be on one timeline or the other, you have the timeline of fear, which is that, or the timeline of like, I'm in sync with the universe. I'm going towards my best thing. But I have said before, you have to keep telling yourself, even though I don't think that matters, like in the long run, you're still on that. Even if you are stressed out and you worry or whatever, I think it still is when the thing good happens, then it's like, then you reevaluate, like, oh man, why couldn't I trust? Like, what was going on? Why was I so sure I wouldn't get what I wanted and stuff like that? But so when okay, so right now, while it is like this energy is trying to fight against the people who, if you're trying to think about good things, it wants to keep beating you back Like, oh no, nothing good can happen. Nothing good can happen. But you got to keep on remembering it. Whatever it is in the 3D is it is not the same in the spiritual. So whatever, let me think because how to explain this. Because whenever I'm thinking about like it doesn't matter what I see in the 3D. Like, guys can come up at the end of my driveway and try and intimidate me or whatever. That doesn't mean that is the direction it's going to go. I got to sell all my stuff. I've got to just hurry up and move because that's the way it's going to go. No, you don't know what that means. So you have to keep telling yourself, it doesn't matter what the 3D is showing me. It doesn't matter what the 3D is trying to get me to suck it into my, pull my vibration down, to suck the life out of me, to stress me out. All their shit doesn't matter. You got to keep pulling towards your trusting like everything's gonna be fine. No, I'm on this timeline. I'm on the timeline where everything's gonna go good. And if anything is taken from me, it's for my best. I gotta let go of it and keep going forward. And then also the concept of just laying back and relaxing. You don't have to control it. You don't have to jump in and do things. No, it's all happening for you. Like, everything's gonna happen. There's nothing that you need to do. Everything is just going to go the way it's going to go. The thing we get caught up in, where we put out so much energy, is feeling like that we have to control it, or stressing out over the 3D makeshift fucking drama that interferes with us being able to stay focused. I think it's just important to just keep staying focused in finding peace. Like I said, I don't think that it would make a difference. Like, you wouldn't get your stuff because you didn't think of it enough. No, it would be way more of like, you got there and you're like, oh my God, I stressed and stressed. Like that girl's story where she was so stressed. She was planning her funeral, and then she finally went to the doctor and found out she didn't even have anything wrong with her. And so she was like, I can't believe I spent 2 weeks stressing and planning my funeral and stuff. That's what I'm talking about. So you would get to your good part, and then it would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was stressing. Look at it, everything's fine. So, but because it's a mastery, it's about you learning how to manage yourself. So it's not like you can do it wrong. You're just learning. So don't be caught up in thinking, well, today I only spent 20 minutes thinking positive about what was going to happen, and I spent 30 minutes stressing out because something bad happened in my neighborhood. And now I'm worried. And it's all just learning how to process. It's all just learning how to see and let go and stuff. So don't get all caught up and think like, well, I'm not going to get what I want now because now I spent too much time on that. It doesn't matter. It is going to be a part of you learning how to develop yourself. So it all goes together. Whatever it is that you're going through on there and your struggles, when it flips, it's going to show you and help you through it. So all of us will get that. We'll all get, where things will suddenly make sense. Whatever we're working on, we're struggling at, we're trying to figure out, everything will make sense when the pull shift happens. It will just be like, we're trying to build a castle in the dark right now. And so everything, when the pull shift happens, then it's like the lights come on, and then you see what you've been building, you see what you've been doing, and you have a deeper understanding of yourself. And so anyways, don't get caught up in thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna get what I want because I didn't think about it enough today. It's way more about you just learning how to relax and trust, how to create your affirmations. Just keep reminding yourself, like, it doesn't have to make sense in the 3D for it to make sense. And whatever is being shown in the 3D is a distraction. It's an interference. Keep straight on what it is that you believe. And so, these are challenges. Like, I'm telling you, they're challenges. That's why I talk about it. I mean, it's not simple. It's not easy. Even for somebody who's been spiritual for a really long time, these are challenging times. So don't get down on yourself. Don't feel like you're doing it wrong. No, this is like us all trying to learn how to tie our shoes at the same time. It's like, remember how hard that was, or if you've ever taught a kid, I mean, it's fucking hard, and that's what we're all trying to learn, is this new state of being, this new way of looking at things. This is a big transference in our consciousness. So just don't be hard on yourself, because that's the energy you don't want. You don't want the low vibration, judgmental on you, judgmental on others, angry at the world. That is where, when I start feeling like that kind of, oh, that is where I try and purge that out. Like, to me, it's like, put on some music, get up and dance and sing, act silly, do silly walks around the house, go make funny faces at yourself, anything that's ridiculous, to get yourself out of that, because that is a part of, learning how to notice your moods or whatever's going on, and being able to take control. You don't have to overreact or react to everything that happens. That is learning how to manage yourself. So there was another thing I was thinking about when I was saying that, but I don't know, maybe I've said it all. Maybe I've said everything I was going to say today. Was that everything I was going to say today? It's getting so close to the surgery too. And when you've been somebody who everything has always gone wrong, and then you make this choice, like, I'm going towards my health. I don't give a fuck. But whatever goes. If I have to live in a tent, then Stella, we're just gonna have to live in a tent. And but I know that's not what's gonna happen. I know everything is gonna shift and everything's gonna go fine. And that's why my guides are nonstop. As soon as I start stressing or whining or whatever, they're just, all I hear is like the angels singing, trust, trust. So just keep on remembering, trust. Because, well, if that's your message, you gotta tune into your message. Don't just listen to my message. But for my message, it keeps telling me, trust, 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 trust. Quit stressing the fuck out. And I've lived in a fucking stressful life for a long ass time, since I was born into one. And so I'm not used to things going good. I'm used to things not going good. And I'm used to not being able to prioritize myself. And so even when I got my implants, it was kind of shady, seriously. I was getting divorced. I was super insecure. And it was like a midlife crisis. And then I borrowed money from my person I was divorcing. Like, I got him to sign on to a loan for me without him knowing what the loan was. And then I was like, God, Kelly, you're such a bitch. God, I've done some bitch ass things in my life, And you just got to forgive yourself. And that's part of my having to drag these bitches around for 20 fucking years. It's only a couple more days now, and they're gonna be gone. I can't wait. And so it's days away, and everything is like, and I've got all my sheets washed and got them on the bed. I've been doing everything possible, everything that is heavy, everything. They wanted me to wash my sheets, so they wanted my bed to be all clean. They want any germs to get on me. And so anyways, I am just moving on along through my list of getting everything done, cooking up ahead, and all of that stuff. So I feel like, I feel so excited. It's getting so close. So anyways, I think I have said all I gotta say for the day. So just remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.